Guy, I tell you what, yesterday you started off commercial break by pointing out a birthday of sorts or an anniversary of sorts. So I'm gonna do the same thing to you today. 33 years ago, December 11th, 1987. What do you got?
33 years ago, December 11th, 1987, something
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah, it's the
87.
anniversary of a cultural moment in our country. How should we say?
Did Patrick score like 50 against the Bullets or something? What happened?
No, I mean that would be nice. My guess, Patrick didn't start to score 50 for a few more years, but no, this is the anniversary of the release of the movie Wall Street. Of
Come
course,
on.
with Michael Douglas. Yeah, how do you feeling a little old right now?
33 years. That's well, I remember. Look, I do remember it came out like within a couple of years of when I started working on, but I didn't.
On the street.
For some reason, I didn't remember it being a December release. That's fantastic.
Yeah, look, I mean, money never sleeps, pal. And this was a movie
sure.
that was supposed to be epitomizing the big '80s. It might be Gordon himself right now.
GG.
I'm gonna put Gekko on hold because, by the way, the most important, most valuable commodity I know, Bud, is information, and that guy was calling to give me some information. So,
but think about that phone. I mean, pick that phone up real quick because it's worth taking a look at.
I know where you're going here.
So look at that thing, and then if you remember the scene when Gekko's on the beach in the Hamptons, the thing's the size of a suitcase.
Dude,
and
he's like Radar O'Reilly in MASH. Sparky, but he's walking. He's got that thing. He's like, buddy, if you could see what I see right now. He's walking around. In fact, I called one of my friends the other day. I was doing a conference call from the beach because that's where I am right now, and he was like, dude, all I could think about when you told me that you were actually doing a call from the beach is that scene with Gekko on the beach in his bathrobe. But by the way, folks, if you haven't seen this, go on to Vimeo or YouTube and find the Fast Money trailer spoof of Wall Street, the movie that we did probably 4 years ago with, of course, Guy Adami as Gordon Gekko and Tim Seymour as Bud Fox. And then all of our other...
Brilliant.
It was. And
I mean, BK was in it. What's in it from Wah? That was BK's line.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
And I remember being in the elevator at the NASDAQ riding up with Seberg, and Seberg playing the role of Marty Sheen, and something like, Bud, you don't judge the man by the size of his wallet. And he's like,
and he did a great job.
He was in my grill. He even spit on me a little bit. I mean, it was.
I had this stripe. Remember, if you remember in the movie, Michael Douglas wears a striped shirt, but the stripes are not
sideways,
not vertical. They're horizontal, and that was like badass shit. And I have one of those shirts.
I bet you do
for that gig.
And one of the funniest stories for me from my first month on Wall Street was me also with a horizontal striped shirt, showing up on the trading floor, and my mentor. So they assign you coming out of the training program, one of the big swinging what's on the floor. And so they assigned me to this guy. I'll leave his name out. He's a great guy. And he was a great mentor. And he comes up to me and he's like, Seymour, until you've made $5 million, take that shirt off. And he was pissed and he was serious. So, you learn these things. So what did we learn from Wall Street, the movie, as it related to the big 80s? And were the 80s, late 80s on Wall Street? And again, we had the crash, of course, of 87. This is some great irony, right? This happened right after the crash. But Wall Street, the LBOs, the buyouts, the junk bond craze, Michael Milken, and you were at Drexel in the middle of that. Would you say the excesses of today, and this is a week where DoorDash prices, the biggest IPO, only then to be outdone the next day by Airbnb, which is now bigger than the entire rest of the travel industry, effectively. It's a $100 billion company that's not making money. And on some level, when I talk to people around the street today and over the last couple of days, that scares the shit out of them.
Yeah, and it should. The lesson is that people always it's like the line in the movie, greed is good. The greed for all of mankind, from the beginning of mankind to the end of time, greed is going to be part of it. And people are always looking for what's the next best way to make a buck. Sometimes it's what's the best, quickest way, what's the best nefarious way, but nothing's changed. I mean, if you really think about the core message of that movie, absolutely nothing's changed. Those people still exist, just in a different form. I mean, the business that took place then is a lot different now, but the personalities and the complexes and all this, it's all the same.
And one of the great lines from that movie is something like, buddy, the top 1% of the wealth in this country is worth more than $5 trillion, or more than half of our country. And I mean, first of all, I feel like we started talking about that last week, and the excess between the rich and the poor, the divergence, the chasm is all this stuff. And I think, it probably has gotten more extreme, but it felt extreme then. And by the way, Guy, I gave you Darien. How about that? It's pretty good.
The fact,
by the way, what do you think about her? I would not have cast her in that role. I mean, I guess the whole like Soho art thing, like she was like the trophy prize. But Daryl Hannah, look, I don't know. It's just,
I listen, I think
you got time.
Could have.
You got time?
I mean, if you think about it, Sean Young was also in that movie.
Yes, she was. Yes,
she was
Gekko's wife,
and she was like a bit part. You could have cast her in the Daryl Hannah role very easily.
No, you needed a younger. I mean, look, you needed a younger Vixen, and I love the decorating his apartment scene, just like throwing paint up against the wall,
background. Yeah.
Cranking the Talking Heads tune, making pasta, pouring. Oh, bottle of wine's pour the guy. Oh yeah, it's all good.
It's quintessential. But what's changed? Nothing's changed. And there are always going to be people that try to do things the quick way, and there are always going to be people that think they can get away with it. And you know what? In the end, they all get caught. So, I mean, but I tell you what, and I know you feel the same way, I could be flipping around, and if that movie's on, I'll stop no matter where. Even if it's in the effing credits, I'll stop.
Dude, it's a time capsule, and whether it's that scene on the beach, whether it's the braces and first of all, everything, including Gekko's henchmen, right? Gekko's henchmen were just like the guys on trading desks following around after the head trader, and the whole thing was cut to a T. So the question is, Guy, if you need a friend, get a dog, or let's see.
Lunches for wimps.
Lunches for wimps.
You wouldn't know preferred stock from livestock. I mean,
if it's worth doing, it's worth doing for money. I mean, these are some of the great lines in the movie. So I'm going to tell you that Bud Fox is the anti-hero, because I think the movie's misunderstood, and the message is play it clean, man, and be a good guy. And actually, Martin Sheen rises to the top.
Words to live by. I'll talk to you Monday.
Later. See you.